Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome here to the Launchpad and our live launch coverage of SpaceX Starlink 6-73, set to launch from Space Launch Complex 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. If it's your first time here, though, welcome. My name's Zach. I'm the founder and host here at the Launchpad Network, and here at TLP, it's our mission to inform and inspire the explorers of tomorrow because we believe that space is better together, and we're glad to have you joining us live here tonight. If you haven't yet, take a moment, let us know in the chat where you're watching from, and while you do so, also take a moment and engage that like button. It's free to do so and really does help us out. Maybe consider sharing out the stream as well. We, of course, are monitoring weather conditions. We've got green across the board, and tonight's forecast is perfect 99% chance for launch. We've only a few times ever seen that 100, so it's going to be pretty much as good as we get. SpaceX is set to launch 27 Starlink V2 minis on today's Falcon 9. Today's Falcon 9 booster is booster 1067, going for its 27th flight on a 58-day turnaround after previously supporting CRS-22, Crew 3, Turksat 5B, Crew 4, CRS-25, Eutelsat Hotbird 13G, O3B mPower A, PSN Sateria, Telecomsat Mira Puti 2, Galileo L13, KoreaSat 6A, and 15 previous Starlink missions. SpaceX's autonomous drone ship just read the instructions is stationed downrange in the Atlantic Ocean, ready to recover today's first stage. Of course, the second stage will be disposed of, and the fairings will be deployed later on by a support ship in the Atlantic as well. Now, as always, if you guys have questions, you can send those in the chat by tagging us at the Launchpad, and we'll work on answering those live. We got lots of people tuning in from all over the world. We got the Pink Fairy in New York. We got Fatboy Kicks in Melbourne, Florida. Welcome. We got Jay Rice watching from Castleberry. We got, Atikia. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Bula from the Pacific Fiji Islands. Welcome. Great to have you here. Jay's watching from Nashville, Tennessee. We got Mark in Chesapeake Beach. Welcome. We got another Matt in Texas. Williams in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Sandy is in Colorado. We got Ben in Virginia. It's great to have you all joining us live here tonight. As always, if you want to stay up to date with the latest on the launch schedule, you can head on over to tlpnetwork.com. Click on the big launches button in the top left corner of your screen. It's where you can see an up-to-date color-coded launch schedule of all the launches around the world. Of course, we are counting down now just over 10 hours until liftoff of New Shepard 31, a historic mission taking Katy Perry, Gail King, and 4 other females on the first all-female mission in many decades, launching from Corn Ranch in Van Horn. We will, of course, be bringing you full live coverage of that tomorrow morning, so we hope you'll join us for that. Taking a look at the week ahead, we've also got a NROL 174 launch with Northrop Grumman. We got another Starlink 6-74 from the same pad scheduled for just 3 days from now, and many other missions we're waiting on confirmation of dates. Starship Flight 9, NRL 145 from Vandenberg, CRS 32 to the space station, and that first flight of Project Kuiper on an Ariane 5. Lots of missions coming up this month and in through the rest of the year, and of course you can get those all right here on the Launchpad. Now at L 54 minutes, 15 seconds and counting, we are going to take a very quick commentary break, and then we will continue to follow along and bring you updates as we continue through today's coverage as we await the launch here tonight. Today's launch window is running from, just loading here, running from 9:59 Eastern to 1:59 a.m. Eastern. They are currently targeting a liftoff time of midnight, so they do have just under 2 hours left in the window that they could push if they need to. But at this time, they are currently targeting that stroke of midnight liftoff from the Space Coast here tonight. And we will, of course, bring you the latest via commentary as we continue to follow along with updates for today's Falcon 9 launch. If you guys have questions, keep sending those in the chat by taking us at the Launchpad and stay with us right here on the Launchpad Network as we count down just 53 minutes, 15 seconds to launch of SpaceX Starlink 6-73. Stay with us. Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome here to the Launchpad and our live launch coverage of SpaceX Starlink 6-73, set to launch from Space Launch Complex 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. If it's your first time here, though, welcome. My name's Zach. I'm the founder and host here at the Launchpad Network. And here at TLP, it's our mission to inform and inspire the explorers of tomorrow because we believe that space is better together, and we're glad to have you joining us here live tonight. If you haven't yet, take a moment, let us know in the chat where you're watching from. We'll do some shout outs. Also, while you do so, take a moment and click that like button. It really does help us out. You are now looking at a live view of Space Launch Complex 40, where Falcon 9 is fueled up, ready to launch here in just 4 minutes, 45 seconds from now. We'll sync our countdown clock with SpaceX. And of course, we are listening in now to SpaceX Mission Control as they send updates through the Mission Control net. So we'll be hearing those and pausing our commentary when those come through.
Dropback retract has started.
On board today's mission, 27 Starlink V2 minis heading up to low Earth orbit. You heard the call out there for the strong back retract. That is the strong back is that truss structure to the left of the launch vehicle. This is what Falcon 9 is rolled out and erected with. Prior to launch from the Space Coast, it's retracted away a couple of degrees in preparation for flight. And Vandenberg, it retracts away and stays at a retracted position. On the Space Coast, it retracts just a little bit, and then during launch retracts a larger distance away from the vehicle during that liftoff sequence. Today's Falcon 9 booster is Booster 1067, going for its 27th flight on a 58-day turnaround. This booster previously supported CRS-22, Crew 3, Turksat 5B, Crew 4, CRS-25, Eutelsat Hotbird 13G, O3B Mpower A, PSN Satyria, Telecomsat Mira Puti 2, Galileo L13, KoreaSat 6A, and 15 previous Starlink missions. The SpaceX autonomous drone ship, just read the instructions, is stationed downrange in the Atlantic Ocean, ready to recover today's first stage. We'll be, of course, bringing you full coverage from launch to the first stage landing. Now, SpaceX no longer provides live coverage of deployment. Deployment of the Starlink set to occur 1 hour, 5 minutes, 14 seconds after liftoff, but SpaceX will confirm that via their social media. We got lots of people tuning in from all over the world. Mike's in Columbus. We got Abu Paul in Corona, California. We got Matt in Minnesota. Wormwood's in Maryland. Fairmaid's in Victoria, Australia. Ted Park is in Calgary, Alberta. Great to see another Albertan. Great to have you here. Lots of people tuning in. Let us know in the chat where you're watching from. L-2 minutes, 40 seconds and counting. Falcon 9 and teams are now just topping up those tanks to flight levels and beginning to clear the lines in preparation for today's flight. At T-1 minute, Falcon 9 will take over the count and begin its final pre-launch checks. It's also when Falcon 9 will pressurize all of its tanks to flight levels in preparation for launch. At T-45 seconds, the launch director will give a final go, no-go for liftoff on the mission control net. Now, as we come down to that T-2 minute mark, let's see that go, no-go in the chat from you guys. If you're a TLP member, don't forget to use those custom TLP launch emotes. If you'd like to become a member and support our mission, you can do so by hitting that join button. Just 99 cents a month gets you access to those TLP launch emotes and our members only videos and other stuff. We're working on more things as we continue to expand our coverage on the Space Coast and around the world. If you guys have questions, you can send them in the chat by tagging us at the Launchpad, and I'll work on answering those during the coast phase of the first stage. Once it is up in above that Kármán line, we'll have a few minutes to answer those comments and questions. Coming down now, just under 90 seconds and counting till liftoff. It looks like a beautiful day on the Florida Space Coast. 99% chance of launch for the weather here. We'll have that final go for launch for the next 30 seconds from the launch director. If you happen to be down on the Space Coast and get photos or videos of today's flight, make sure you send them to us over on our Discord. Link is in the chat and the description, or on X at TLPN_official. Falcon 9 is in startup, and we are listening for that final call out from the launch director.
Launch director, go for launch.
And there's that call we've been waiting for. T-40 seconds. Falcon 9, go for launch. 27 Starlinks on board, ready to head up to low Earth orbit to continue the expansion of humanity's first global internet communication constellation. L minus T minus 25 seconds. T minus 15.
T minus 15 seconds. T minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. Engines full power and liftoff. Go Falcon, go Starlink.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
And at the stroke of midnight, Falcon 9 has launched from Space Launch Complex 40 on the Florida Space Coast. T plus 25 seconds into flight, everything continuing nominally. That first milestone in the sequence of events during launch will be max Q. That is the moment of peak mechanical stress on the vehicle. That's set to occur at T plus 1 minute, 9 seconds, about 30 seconds from now. Let's listen for the callouts.
Power and telemetry nominal.
MOD propulsion nominal.
Falcon 9 is supersonic. Max Q.
And there is that call for max Q. Falcon 9 now continuing on its flight nominally. Coming up in just a moment at T plus 2 minutes, 24 seconds into flight will be the beginning of a big sequence of events kicked off with MECO, or first stage main engine cutoff. This will be immediately followed by first and second stage separation. Second stage engine start, the grid fin deployment on the first stage, and then about 20 seconds later, fairing deployment. This is a busy sequence of events and a major milestone in the flight. T plus 1 minute, 50 seconds and counting. Falcon 9 now traveling over 4,000 kilometers an hour, passing 34 kilometers in altitude. Just moments away from the beginning of that sequence event with MECO. Let's listen for the callouts.
Go.
Stage separation confirmed.
MVAC ignition. And MVAC propulsion is nominal.
And there's a great visual of all of that sequence. Now both the first and second stage approaching that Kármán line. That's that 100-kilometer internationally recognized line of space, and they are now both officially in space. The second stage is currently continuing under power, now passing 8,400 kilometers an hour in speed, passing 108 kilometers in altitude. The first stage is continuing under its momentum from its flight, but it is not under power at this time. It is floating up to what is known as its apogee. Apogee is the highest point of its flight. We always like to have some fun in the chat, so let's see those apogee guesses. I see we got Fairmade saying 117, Good Time saying 120, Matt saying 118, Mike and Denise 117. Got some great guesses there in the chat. We'll have to wait and see. We're just seconds away from that apogee call. Things continuing to look nominal on both the first and second stage. As always, if you guys have questions, you can send those in the chat by tagging us at the launch pad. We're working to answer those live here in just a moment during the coast phase of the first stage as it begins its journey back down to the drone ship. Just read the instructions. T plus 4 minutes, 20 seconds into flight, and it looks like we have apogee at 114 kilometers. The Falcon 9 booster 1067 now having completed its 27th ascent, now beginning its descent back down to Earth. That Falcon 9 first stage will conduct 2 burns on its way back. The entry burn set to occur 5 minutes 59 seconds into flight, lasting 29 seconds tonight. Then it'll have its landing burn beginning 7 minutes 48 seconds into flight, lasting about 25 seconds prior to its touchdown. The second stage continuing to look nominal, now traveling over 11,000 kilometers an hour, passing 146 kilometers in altitude. If you haven't yet, take a moment, engage that subscribe button so you never miss another live launch coverage right here on the Launchpad Network. Also, make sure to join us over on the TLP Discord. That's where you can get notified of our photos, or our videos, and our live streams, and our news updates. To stay up to date on the latest of the launch schedule, tlpnetwork.com. Click on the launch button. That's where we do have our launch calendar. You can stay up to date with the latest of the launch schedule with color-coded calendar of confirmed dates, pending or target dates, and unconfirmed placeholder dates. You can see all of that at tlpnetwork.com. It's a big day tomorrow. The first all-female crew heading to space on board Blue Origin New Shepard, carrying Gail King and Katy Perry and 4 others on a 11-minute suborbital mission. We'll bring you full coverage of that. Listening for the call out of entry burn.
Stage 1 STS safe.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
And we have entry burn
Vector
startup.
nominal.
Falcon 9, its first stage, is now beginning its journey back into the Earth's atmosphere, having ignited a few of its Merlin 1D engines, helping slow the vehicle down as it makes atmospheric interface, but also helping protect it from the superheating of atmosphere re-entry.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
And we have entry burn shutdown. That first stage now free falling back down towards the Atlantic Ocean, and the drone ship just read the instructions. I always like to point out, look at the speed. It is still traveling over 4,300 kilometers an hour,
Stage 2
but
STS safe.
but just using its body, the grid fins, and the thickness of the Earth's atmosphere is going to burn off a lot of that speed in preparation for its landing burn about 30 seconds from now. The second stage continuing to burn nominally, now coming up to 18,000 kilometers an hour and increasing, coming now to 148 kilometers in altitude. T plus 7 minutes, 18 seconds into flight.
Stage 1 transonic. Stage 1 landing burn.
There's the ignition of Falcon 9 as it prepares to land on the drone ship. Just read the instructions. Live
Landing
view
leg
from the
deployed.
drone ship.
Stage 2 internal guidance.
Stage 1 landing confirmed.
And touchdown of Falcon 9 completing its 27th mission. That is going to get ready to wrap us up. We'll stay live here as we await that final confirmation of SECA 1. Payload deployment of the 27 Starlink satellites on board today, expected to occur 1 hour, 5 minutes, 14 seconds into flight, after one final burn of the second stage, which will occur 54 minutes, 6 seconds into flight for 1 second to finalize it from its initial parking orbit to its deployment orbit. There is that confirmation of SECO 1. And with that, we are going to wrap up our live coverage here of SpaceX Starlink 6-73. We hope you will join us in the morning for a historic mission, the first all-female mission in many decades, and the first all-female mission that has more than one female on board. Blue Origin New Shepard NS-31 carrying Gail King, Katy Perry, and 4 others on a suborbital mission. We're excited to bring you full live coverage of that. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss another live launch coverage, space news update, or exclusive one-on-one interview, because here at TLP, it's our mission to inform and inspire the explorers of tomorrow. And be from our TLP Canada studio, my name's Zach, and we will see you next time, because space is better together. Good night.